who pulled up for a catch-up. It's really here from 947 afternoons. And if you're here, it means you've got taste. Go ahead, enjoy the moment you missed. But don't ghost me. Weekdays 12 to 3 p.m. on 947. I'm loud and way more fun in real time. And yeah, there's more audio magic waiting for you right here on Prime Media Plus. Wake up with a bang.
Hey, wake up!
Anele and The Club
On 947.
You know, every now and then we joke about these guys, and then Cindy goes, me. And today it's not a joke. Here is something that was posted on the I Love Fourways group. Hi everyone, please help me. Yesterday a delivery bike went into the back of me. The driver is not the owner of the bike. He then gave me the owner's number, and she has informed me that she does not have insurance. I was driving a rental at the time, and now I'm liable for the access to the rental car company despite the fact that the accident was not my fault. If they are unable to claim from a third party, they told me that I'm liable for double the excess.
Double?
What does someone do in this case? What does someone do in a case like this if the person was saying that they don't have insurance?
This is a tricky one, I think, because also she was in a rental car, which aggravates the situation. But 011 88 38 947, which beep beep has driven into you?
Yeah, I think most, because I mean, I see an accident with the memes everywhere. So therefore, they're not like necessarily driving into themselves, guys. They're driving into cars.
Yeah, it happens all
Have
the
you
time.
had an accident with a delivery bike? We just want to know, how did it work out? And what we're finding is that a lot of the delivery bikes are not insured. That's a problem for me, because you're on the road so much. I think you should be insured.
Yeah, and to aggravate it, I mean, she says it there, the guy doing the delivery doesn't own the bike. They rent the bikes from someone who runs a little business of renting out bikes, clearly. But then that person doesn't have insurance. Sure. I think a lot of people have had this nightmare. And same with, what do they call it? E-hailing services.
E-hailing, you were going to say Uber, and then realized
no. Let's just say Uber.
Yeah, same with an Uber. If an Uber drives into you and they're not insured, what happens?
What do you do?
You know, people be like, no, you must pay it, and then you can take it to small claims court. But do you ever,
Because think about it this way. What you're likely, time and effort that you're going to spend seeking recourse through a court, for example, it takes up so much time that you might as well pay for it yourself. But also, I would imagine that the grey area also has to do with the fact that the people who are operating these bikes aren't employees. Remember, even with Uber, that used to be the technicality.
Yeah.
You're a driver partner. Therefore, it's different. If I crash into you in a Prime Media car, for example, maybe the company can do something because that's clear cut.
If someone bumps into you and they don't have insurance, it's a delivery driver, bumps into you, how does it work? What have you found when it happened to you? Maybe you found a shorter route to a happy medium there. Please let us know on 011 88 38 947, because there's nothing wilder than somebody bumping into you and they don't have insurance.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. I mean, immediately you're going, oh no, it was your fault and now I have to pay and I don't have money to pay for this.
And even further, if you are in a rental.
Yeah, that's...
I really think the rental company should... This is your job. You guys do cars. Take over.
Don't they charge you for that, though, when you take out...
Let's say you
Let's
say you didn't take super cover.
Oh, I get now. Good luck.
Yeah, but this is also the thing. I mean, I think a lot of people have gotten themselves into tricky situations because when you signed that little paper, maybe there were T's and C's you didn't see and that maybe we should know about, you know?
Which is to your point about just a lack of insurance overall, right?
Overall, guys, I just feel that people are underinsured for the things that are happening on our roads.
Yeah.
I feel that people are underinsured. 084 0000 947. Let us know, how did you navigate your way around this? And then I think we should speak to somebody from an insurance company.
We've got to ask.
Like, dude, like, just get the shortest way from point A to point B. We don't want this squiggly line. Then you must go here, then you must go there, then you must go to the Himalayas and get salt. Take that salt to Canada and find a bear and then hit it with the salt and then come back and claim.
Exactly.
Guys?
I would just take the bike. So I'm going to sell it if they don't have insurance, sell the parts, and that would be how I pay things off.
Must say I was in one myself at one point. Obviously, I knew that we're not going to get anywhere, so
I just collected the food that he had.
Those people are some of the most irritating and terrible drivers on the road. Wait until you get hit by a taxi. And wait until it's a write-off. So at the same time, you are paying for your car every month. You don't have a car, and then no one is paying for it because they're saying they don't have insurance.
I see that. The real victim is the person waiting for their burger while the bike lies on its side.
But the taxi thing is also a big conversation.
Yeah.
Eh?
Do you know why the taxi thing, we've kind of let it go, and with this one, we feel like there should be some sort of recourse, and it could be a wrong way to think, but it's the way we think nonetheless. It's because taxis aren't part of a corporate, right? And corporates, you kind of bind them to some sort of right doing because they're corporates. Because as much as you can say, oh no, these beeps are, they're independent drivers, but the fact that you know that they're delivering for big corporates is that you feel like the big corporates should come down on them.
That's it,
to be
yeah.
like, guys, it is our name that is on the back of your scooter.
Exactly.
Please, you have to have insurance.
Right.
Because no one's going to say, oh, Jabu, bumped into me. They're going to say, no, a Checker 6060 thing bumped into me,
Yeah.
which is the problem.
Or
So that
Uber
they're
Eats
bringing
or something.
Uber Eats or, now they're bringing that big brand that does nothing wrong into disrepute.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, that's the thing. What is it time to make a law around this?
I think it is. I really think it is, because what's going to happen is we're seeing e-commerce like spike, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing it's like a revolution. What? Fourth industrial revolution. son.
Those guys are so far ahead of us. They have electric scooters now.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the new wave, and it's not going anywhere. So the problem we're talking about right now is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Bianca, you in Alberton. Good morning.
Morning, team. How are you?
We're great, Bianca. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
So last March, what happened?
So last March, I was driving home from work, and I was crossing over Oxford. It was clear for me, and all of a sudden, this delivery bike came out of nowhere and rammed the right side of my car.
Cool.
Car was a write-off. Waited over 2 hours for ambulance to come and obviously check on everybody. In that time, I had multiple delivery drivers come and harass me.
Yes, this is another thing that they do.
Waiting for, yes, they do. They all back up. Ambulance came. Ambulance said that he was fine. He'll obviously just be a little bit bruised. His friends convinced him to go to the hospital. I was then accosted to pay for medical bills, and then later on I was harassed to pay for his motorbike in repairs because now he can't work and he's the only breadwinner.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
He drove into you,
Yes.
and then had the audacity
100%.
to still say you should pay for everything.
I should pay for everything. Eventually, my insurance at the time told me to just keep referring and defer them back to them because of third party. And I think eventually, after a couple of times, insurance advised me to start blocking the number because it was becoming harassment. And never heard from them again. And insurance paid out. My car ended up being a complete write-off because the way that he hit me completely skewed the axle.
Yeah,
and
the
it was
axle.
a very old car. It was like a 2006 model, so it just wasn't feasible to repair.
Sure.
But yeah,
Were there
it was
witnesses?
quite a thing.
Were there witnesses?
There were witnesses, to shame there were. And then I had a lovely tow truck driver still stay with me. He followed me to the police station to make sure I was okay because the
you
rest
could
of the
see.
delivery drivers were so aggressive.
I don't get that.
He didn't want to leave me as this female standing alone on the side of the road.
What I'm curious about is if there was an official place you could go to, because ultimately they run a service that a bigger company provides.
There was nowhere because, you've only got the delivery driver's details, who, by the way, was not even South African, so didn't even have a South African driver's license. And then when
That's
they give you the
another
owner of the
problem.
bike's details, the owner of the bike basically takes no responsibility.
That's
but
another
also
problem.
a big delivery company.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Bianca, I'm so sorry you went through that, and I'm so glad the tow truck guys. When the tow truck drivers are the ones looking like the heroes in the situation, you know,
You must know about
you
it.
know, like
Yeah,
the
sure, but those
APR
guys
is
know.
back. Yes, you see those guys, they will help you out.
Yeah.
Ha, Bianca, this is a wild story. And you know, Bianca says something very true, because as soon as one of them gets into an accident, our beep beeps, then it's like 20 of them, and then they're shouting at you like, hey, Wayne.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, but and this happened to a friend of mine. She was harassed for months. The guy drove into her, and she was harassed for months.
We have a problem, guys.
No, this is definitely a
We
problem.
have a problem.
I didn't even realize that that's what
Yeah.
goes down when people are in accidents with these bikes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a woman alone.
That's scary.
Sharika in Randburg, good morning.
Good morning, Anele and The Club. I'm so hurt right now.
Oh, why?
I bought a car, fully paid. It was going to be a transportation for my kids and do Uber. On Monday, the car was involved in the car accident. And when I bought the car, my husband is like, insure the car. Then I was like, okay, I'll insure it. Then the driver spoke to me. He's like, no, we don't have to insure it. We're only going to be paying for maintenance. I was like,
that's you, girl.
And then we did not insure the car, Anele. On Monday, I was at work. The car was involved in the car accident. Now, the guy who bumped into the driver does not want to take responsibility. Now the car is not insured. Now we have to fix the car. So now my husband then find out that the car was not insured. What was I going to say? Like, now the guy is not taking responsibility. So now the driver had to go to the police station with him, and then now we're going to have to go take it to the smoke court. I don't know how long it's going to take, but now we have to find the money to fix the car. Then my husband was like, why didn't you take insurance? And the car is doing business. Why don't you take insurance? Now I have learned. No, the previous car had insurance. Now the new car that was fully paid, because now remember, if you have finance, they're not gonna allow you to drive the car without insurance.
But
So
if it's fully
I thought I
paid, you're being clever.
I thought I was being clever.
Sharika,
Yeah.
can I say it? Mm-hmm. He told you so.
Yeah, you can say it. What?
Your husband told you so.
I know. It's been 2 days. I'm not sleeping well.
This is terrible, though.
I'm imagining your walk of shame from work on Monday when you have to go into the house and explain.
Sorry, ne?
Yeah. Yeah.
But to the point, right? This is what I think. All cars should be insured. There are countries where they don't allow you to drive a car.
You shouldn't.
It's almost with your driver's license. You buy the insurance for your car.
In the States, every year when you redo your disc, you can only redo your disc if you've got insurance.
Guys, that's where we should go.
I think so.
And also, I mean, yes, there are insurance companies who take me for a ride where things are expensive. But guys, insurance is also like 200 rand a month sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can
especially
at
to a
least,
scooter.
but at least do third party.
Something. I really think, who's the minister of the transport?
Barbara Creasy.
Hi, Barbara, girl, do something. Everybody must be insured.
Yeah.
I had an incident where a driver drove into me. The back windscreen was shattered. My boot was dented in half. His supervisor came and they did all the paperwork and I was paid out. So then I was able to fix my car.
They do require insurance. We've got a car that we've put on Mr. D Food and Uber and all these places, and they do want insurance.
I think that's why I can't stress enough that dash cams are starting to become a necessity for everyone.
I don't think it's necessarily proving that they did that. We all know they did that, but they're just saying to you, I don't have insurance, now what?
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, he's obviously talking about a dispute when the moment happens.
Okay.
It's useful to have dash cams. I know a lot of guys do, and sometimes you catch, which is very helpful. If someone else in front of you has an incident, then you've got it on camera.
Okay.
Then there's no dispute.
The one lady who was saying that they do require insurance, that's news to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'd like to get somebody on who is from the big companies that hire these third-party drivers. Is there a prerequisite that they must be insured? Because then they contravening
Well, they obviously jipping the system.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering whether because obviously, like, we know that Uber is an international thing, right? But maybe Checkers and Mr. D require that. Maybe that's one of the requirements. I'd love to speak to someone there.
But I mean, I told you that my problems ended in life when I stopped using the Uber and I went to Mr. D because somebody answers there.
Yes.
Somebody
Yeah, well,
is
you can speak to
liable.
someone in South Africa.
And they fix it immediately.
Yes.
Oh, my life changed. Can you see? Even my
No,
skin
you're
is
so
better.
relaxed.
Even
You're
my
so
skin is
relaxed.
better, son. AJ, talk to us. Last year you were bumped by a delivery driver.
Good morning, Anele and the Club. How are you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
No complaints. I actually work for I actually work for the insurance giant.
Oh.
So, yeah, I am stationed at a robot last year around this time, waiting for the robot to go green. The moment it goes green, I pull off, and one of our big retail company bikes turns in front of me, but I bumped that guy. He fell meters away.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for the guy. Got up, stopped, asked him if he's okay, went through the whole thing. Fortunately for me, about 2 or 3 cars behind us, there was a EMPD traffic officer. He pulled over, he took our statements and stuff.
And at that point in time, did you then discover that does he have insurance?
No, we went into the conversation and he said, yeah, he works for someone, but the guy is never available. The whole long story.
Yeah.
But then he tried to accuse me, stating to the police officer, this guy should have watched where he was driving. The police officer asked him, but where's your license? He said, yeah, he just has a foreign license. Long story short. This guy should have looked where he's driving. The whole story, the officer told him, listen here, but in this country, what we do here is you obey the rules of the law, of the road. You don't watch out for other people.
So then afterwards, how long does it take before everything was resolved? Did you finally get the money? Did your insurance pay out?
It dragged on for months. Me working for an insurance company, obviously you don't want to claim from your insurer if you don't need to. Because that's something that will come back in the long run and bite you, price-wise. So I tried as best I can not to claim from my insurer. And to a point where I actually approached the company that he represents. I mean, the bike is branded, although it's not a company bike. I approached them and said, listen here, this is the situation I'm faced with. They said, yeah, but they don't take responsibility for the bikes. It's independently owned and they should have insurance. I said, oh, okay. So just note that I've got a statement from a police officer as a witness that was 2 or 3 cars behind me. So let me take this to social media and see where we end up.
So when you approach this company, they say that they should have insurance, or it is a prerequisite that they must have insurance.
I told them actually that, you know what, your brand is on this bike. So these guys represent your brand. Is it not a prerequisite of yours to check that they have insurance?
You see, that's something that we should find out, is that do the companies who they work for on behalf of require for them to have insurance?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd love to know, because AJ's not being clear on this, but I'd love to know whether they actually say, if you're going to be a driver for us, you've got to show us your insurance.
Okay, let's chat. We said we're going to find somebody who is well versed in insurance. Let's chat to the co-founder of Naked Insurance. His name is Ernest North. Good morning, Ernest. Welcome to Anele and The Club.
Good morning, Anele. It's nice to be chatting to you guys again.
Oh, dude, we are so excited to have you back again because firstly, there are so many things that you need to answer that none of us know anything about, and this is why people are going to take us for a ride, okay, on their scooters. Talk to us. How does car rental insurance work?
Yeah, so I think the first thing to say is that car rental is not an insurance contract. And so even though they sometimes call it an excess, it's not really an excess because you never entered into an insurance policy. As part of signing the rental agreement, you agree to some form of liability or co-payment if there is damage, but actually that was never insurance. It's a separate part of the contract. And so what's dangerous about that is the T's and C's and the small print is often very different to normal insurance. And so the first piece of advice I want to give is that unfortunately those co-payments are often significantly higher than a normal insurance excess. And so you have to read through that small print of a rental agreement much, much better than a conventional insurance contract because it's not even governed by the insurance law of the country.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful when you're signing a rental agreement. And even though they call it super cover, I mean, it is some form of cover, but it's technically not insurance. But I would say make sure that you buy the biggest amount of cover so that the co-payment you're liable for is small. Because very often, I mean, the average amount they're talking about there is 15 or 20,000 rand. That's ridiculous. We don't have that kind of money.
That's wild. Yeah.
Do you remember this year?
No, but this is exactly, and I want to say to people, if you are renting a car, make sure that you check. They must tell you, if I get a chip on the windscreen, how much do I pay? If I hit the rim, how much do I pay? You've got to ask every little one of these questions.
Now, Ernest, if everybody's getting super cover, in 1 month, they could be making, super covers like usually 500 rand, and they're renting the car 20 times in the month. That's 20 times 5. That's more than you'd be paying for the car insurance anyway. So then it's a money-making scheme for car rentals, right?
I mean, car rental, the economics of how much we pay to rent a car on a day per day is an interesting dynamic in its own right.
Yeah,
I think the reality of what risk you're exposed to, and like you said, even for a small thing like just a windscreen chip, is it fair that I have to pay 20,000 rand, even though the cost of the repairs is not even going to be close to that? So I think checking the small print when you're signing up a rental agreement is very, very important.
Okay, and now we've got to ask quickly about this situation. So what happens when someone drives, like a beep beep drives into you and they are not insured?
Okay, two very important things. I think the question has been asked by a lot of people on your show this morning. If the driver or the owner of the scooter has the right to use the technology service, legally it doesn't put a requirement on them to insure the car or to insure the bike. They are just renting the right to use that technology service to deliver you or to deliver the actual food. And so even though part of that right, they sometimes have the branding of that delivery service. They're not working for that delivery service, and legally that delivery service is not on the hook. So unfortunately, even though many of the brands that do a good job in helping you, if you were clearly not at fault, legally it isn't their business. Legally you are unfortunate, and that's why you need to have insurance. Because yes, you are entitled to try and recover those damages on a personal basis. If the damage is less than 20,000 rand, you can go to the small claims court. But in practice, that's very unlikely to be successful. So the thing that is more likely to be successful is just pay your own insurance excess,
cover yourself,
get your car back on the road, and then let your insurer speak to them and get the money back. Now, I have a big secret, Anele, that I think lots of people have been missing this morning. In practice, when this lady from the Fourways group contacted the owner of the bike, and the bike owner said, "Oh no, unfortunately, this bike is not insured," were they speaking the truth? How do you know they weren't just conveniently making you go away by telling you they're not insured? And the secret I have for you is that your insurance company, if you claim on your own policy, you pay your small little excess, which you agreed in advance, which you budgeted for, you pay your excess, your insurance company fixes your car, you're back on the road. Then your insurance company, with a team of very good lawyers, they are very good at finding out whether that person was actually potentially insured. Because if they were insured, your insurance company can go and collect those damages. Even though they tell you they were maybe not insured, I don't think you should accept their word for it. Let your insurance company do that work. That's why they have the specialist lawyers to go and try and recover the money. If they do recover the money, your excess is back in your bank account.
I like the fact that outside of just making sure that our cars get fixed quickly when you are in an accident, insurance also makes sure that you're not taken for a ride by the other guys, because they come with the manpower and the legal teams. So like you say, Ernest, just make sure you cover yourself.
Yeah.
And it's scary that we're in a country where 70% of cars are not insured.
Well,
it scares me.
That's what I wanted to ask, Ernest. Is it time that we legalize you have to be insured if you're on the roads, at least third-party insurance?
We're one of the very few countries in the world where it is where it's not illegal to drive without insurance.
You see,
and I think it's something that we have to think about from a legislative point of view.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
But let's think about it as an individual. The risk of of either driving into another car and you are being held liable by their insurer. Their insurer will come after you hard if you drive into a Ferrari. So that risk is scary. But this risk that we're talking about today, someone drives into you, now you are all on your own trying to fight that legal battle to recover that money from the owner of the bike or from the company that owns it. I don't think that's worth it. That's why you just pay a couple of $100 a month. Your insurer is equipped. Once you've paid your little excess, they fix your car, and then your insurer can kick off the legal process to actually try and recover the money. Okay.
Co-founder of Naked Insurance, Ernest North. Thank you so much. Ernest, quickly before you go, where do I send the invoice for the billboard Anele got naked in the club?
Anele, I'm still waiting for you to invite me to the club. When are we going to the club together, Anele? I heard you're such a good dancer.
Are we going to get naked in the club, Ernest? Thank you, my guy. We'll chat to you again. You're really informative. What a guy.
Say goodbye now. Back to making your morning.
Anele and the Club.
I love this show. On 947.